You saw the title. I'm going to tell you why the United States wants World War III and why I think that. I have not heard anybody else speak about this, so it is an original thought. However, it's evidence-based. That's how I know it's going to hit. If you don't know, my name's Darius. I don't speak on politics. I'm just aware, and I have great critical thinking skills. Shout out my physics degree. So I'm going to break it down how I came to this conclusion. And the way I'm going to present my evidence is leading into the uppercut of evidence that I got today. How did I get that evidence? Literally research. I just had a question for myself. I looked it up and I was like, damn. So that's what encouraged me to grab the mic, throw in the camera, give the explanation on, bro, the United States wants World War III, right? So let's get into it. Point number one, it all started October 4th, for me at least, in terms of there's something going on. October 4th, what happened? The national security alert for every smartphone in America, United States. That happened, and I just thought, why? Why now? And I heard, okay, shout out A, she told me her professor, because it happened in class, her professor told her that it happens every 4 years. Okay, heard that, and I was like, even just thinking to myself, have been flipping phones. I don't do it anymore. It was my first hustle ever, whatever. I was flipping smartphones when I was 10 years old. Smartphones, the biggest, best ones, HTC, HD2, even the little sidekick with the touch screen and it flipped up, all the fire shit, I promise, on God. Since 10 years old, I've always had a smartphone. Up until 25, I still have a smartphone. I have two of them now. Cool. If that's the case, it happens every 4 years. Why have I never, ever experienced that before? Granted, I get the Amber Alerts, I get the dust storm warnings, all that. Cool. It just had me thinking, because whether that's true or not, like the whole like test in the United States, I've never experienced it. And I was like, okay, why would they want to do that? And my head went to, they want to make sure that they are tapped in with each citizen in the United States for something. That something was the thing in question at the time, a month ago. Or actually, that was like maybe 2-3 weeks ago type shit from today's date. The first thing I had, just a quick example, was maybe there's an asteroid headed towards Earth and they don't want to release that to the public, so they want to make sure we're all tapped in so then they can slide it in at the last second. You know what I mean? That's number one. Number two kind of feeds into my theory of United States wants World War III and we're low-key preparing for it. Rolling into point number two is the involvement that we have with the current conflicts on in the world. We all know, United States, we have the biggest military budget. I'll keep that budget. Biggest defense budget. And a quick fact is, if you take the top 11 most populated countries in the world, United States is like top 5, you know, then you got China up there, you got fucking India up there. We might be number 3 type, whatever. But you take the top 11, you put United States right here, you stack up all the other 11, the United States defense budget, i.e. military, army, navy, all that, their budget is greater than all of the other 10 most populated countries in the world combined. So we know that we can get involved. That's the reason why we do, I feel like. Whatever. We just have confidence that we them niggas. Now I have confidence as an American that we them fucking niggas, right? Anyway, the second point is our involvement. We got Ukraine and Russia going on right now. We got Israel and Hamas going on right now. So we're helping Ukraine. We're helping Israel, right? That's involvement. It's just involvement, right? But in conflict. And another thing that just recently happened is us moving our biggest warship ever into the waters of South Korea. South Korea is an ally, so it's cool. But we definitely did piss off North Korea over there. So that's more involvement. So with these, for me, with these displays of power, it's kind of just like, it's kind of egging them on, you know? The way I see it is like, okay, we know that we're the big niggas in the world. Like literally, we're the big niggas type shit. So when you're doing that, in my mind, obviously it's after the conclusion I came up with, but I was thinking, you know, it's like seeing us do shit like that, it's kind of like, they're like, do something, nigga. Do something, nigga. Do something, nigga. You know, they're giving other countries the opportunity to do something type shit. You know what I mean? we're fucking around and we're just trying to find out. We're trying to find out who want the smoke for real. So my second point is truly though just the base point of our involvement with other countries and other conflicts. Because with that being said, when you have two wars going on at different places and we're involved in both, that's 5 countries total. When you start getting into the multiple country conversation, that's where the World War III conversation comes up, right? We're kind of, it seems like we low-key could be cooking it, we're warming it up to that, right? Because then niggas gotta start taking sides if shit get real. This all leads me into my last and final point. This is it was a fact that I found out today, which I thought about before, but it's like an actual fact that just fit too perfect. And there's only 2 people I asked this question to. And this was like a couple days ago type shit that I asked this question. So before I even found out what I found out today, the question I said was, if United States and the world were to go into a World War III, which country on the planet would benefit the most? That's the question I asked. My answer is the United States. Of course, I'm biased. I live here type shit. I have never lived in another country, so I don't know if they would benefit like that. And I'm not talking after a win, after a loss, none of that. I'm just saying in general, who would benefit the most from a world war, right? I said the United States. Why? Bring it back to, maybe end of 2022. The United States is in the worst economic state we've ever been in ever. You can compare it to the Great Depression. If I had editing skills, motherfucker, I'll pull that shit up on the screen right now. Just flash that bitch so you can see. We're in an even worse spot than the Great Depression. How does the Fed, the FED, how have they been handling this problem? One, they're increasing the interest rates. They paused it like 1 month, but consistently increasing interest rates. But 2, they're not admitting that we're fucked, right? You know what they keep doing? We keep hitting the debt limit. You know what they do? They raise the debt limit, bro. Crazy. You know what I mean? So like they're hard body on not saying that we're kind of fucked right now, And then of course there were conversations about the US dollar being knocked down as the reserve currency of the world. It's not going to be that anymore, right? So like USA is kind of like we've been on the ladder forever. Now we're kind of like tipping, we're teetering type shit. Like it's not looking good, right? We're in the worst economic state ever. And so when I thought about that, that's like, okay, yeah, we really are in a recession, right? Maybe they haven't admitted it, the government, but a lot of people know, whatever. If you look at the numbers, bro, we're literally in a recession. Comparing it to the Great Depression, the other major recession that we had, a depression, there was something that happened around that time. And me, I have good memory type shit, so I knew like the years like midly, but I knew the Great Depression started in 1929. And what I said to my 2 people that I asked that question to, and it was different timings type shit, I said, you know what got us out of the Great Depression? World War II. So this answers my question of who would benefit the most in the world? The United States would, because relating it back to the history that already happened, we got out of the worst depression we've had being, the Great Depression. We got out of that with the start of World War II. And and I was saying that before. I was saying that not knowing. I was just saying that on some like just critical thinking, putting shit together, just logical thinking. Truly, obviously, whatever. It's not facts in terms of we benefit the most type shit, but it's a really good reason as to motive as to why we would want to, right? And so the evidence, the number I looked up today, I said, when did the Great Depression end? If you Google it right now, like I did earlier, you will see the Great Depression ended in 1939. I was like, okay. 1929 started, ended in 1939. I was like, okay. And then, what else I Googled right after that? When did World War II start? Google it. I did. I Googled it. You know what I mean? So I'm not bullshitting. They said World War II started in 1939. The same year we got out of our greatest economic depression ever in history at the time was from the start of a war. And of course, we know why. War stimulates the economy. It creates jobs, gets people working, and it makes people work together. Literally, we're all battling and fighting the same fight at that point. Because if the United States is versus like a bunch of other countries, I'm sure that would bring the people together, right? So that was, for me, my uppercut evidence saying the United States is pushing for a World War III. Why? It's a point I haven't brought up yet. Well, maybe I did. Why? Because we're the big niggas. We're probably not going to lose type shit, with us and the allies we have. And, we're probably not going to lose. I have high confidence, honestly, in us that we're not. So one, the probability is in our favor. Two, the economy is not in our favor right now. So let's go ahead and stimulate the economy. Let's bring the economy back. And three, you know what would happen if we got into a world war? Oh man, we're flashing our dicks at that point. We're about to bring all this shit out. Nigga, bro, aliens just came out. United States Congress had a fucking meeting about aliens and shit, bro. We're about to have fucking them alien ships pulling up in that motherfucker in the fucking China, Russia. You know what bro, imagine. These ships that you can't see, or like, they go invisible, or they bend gravity to fucking go as fast as fucking light and shit. Bruh, imagine. We slip into a little nation type shit, drop some shit, boom, we gone. Bruh, I think we got some shit in our bag. And I think the United States is true. I think we're really pushing for a World War III. Obviously, I don't think it's cool to. However, to me, it kind of makes sense as to how that could be possible and why that would be a possibility. And that's kind of my reason. Of course, shit's developing in the world, but that's my reason. Let me know what you think. You agree? You disagree? I don't know. This is food for thought type shit. My theory. I appreciate you guys for listening. Catch me.